felt the national spotlight on athletes and the media covering them shines too brightly on statements like kneeling during the national anthem or social justice messages displayed on jerseys. Quote, "What's happening now is we're turning into a circus. Instead of talking about racial equality, racial justice, and economic justice, we spend all our time worrying about who's kneeling and not kneeling, what's being said on buses, what's been said on jerseys. I think we're missing the point. We need police reform, prison reform. Those are number 1 and 2 things to focus on. We need the cops, good cops out there policing bad cops. When we spend time focusing on what's on the jersey, that's going to defeat the purpose. My concern is this is turning into a circus instead of trying to do some good stuff." All right, Jay Williams still here with us. Stephen A., I'll start with you here. Does Charles Barkley have a point?
He absolutely does. And that's basically what I was alluding to near the top of the show. It's unfortunate, and dare I say it's becoming very, very embarrassing because we're not focused. You know, a lot of times when people talk about the black community quietly amongst themselves, or, you know, some of us are fortunate enough to really hear the truth that's oozing out of the mouths of others outside of our community, we as black folks get accused of 2 things: being very emotional without enough strategy. That's the bottom line. We can slice it any way we want to, but that's what it comes down to. And throughout this ordeal, particularly since the passing of George Floyd, that's exactly what has transpired. Let's take stock of it. So he passes away because this officer murders him by, as far as I'm concerned, engaging in a modern day lynching. You don't just have to tie a noose around somebody's neck. How about putting your knee on their neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds? As far as I'm concerned, that's a modern day lynching in my estimation. That's how I view it. Okay, the police officer murdered this man. Okay, so in the aftermath of all of that, we have these protests. Okay, fair enough. All of a sudden, that protest turns into riots, and we're talking about Black Lives Matter, and people are not paying attention to the fact that you had a bunch of white folks out there supposedly representing Black Lives Matter that were engaging in riots and mayhems and things of that nature. But you heard the name Black Lives Matter and you assume it's black people, but there's a lot of white folks out there doing that stuff. We don't point that out. Then we have a situation where, whether we're protesting or not, then all of a sudden what comes about? Now we have NBA players standing up. Obviously some want to go out there and play because they recognize that if they don't, the collective bargaining agreement is going to get ripped up. As a result of it getting ripped up, you'll have to go back to the negotiating table until a new agreement is reached. All contracts would be null and void. Plus, the NBA would try to institute a hard salary cap in the event that the season is canceled because of the pandemic, etc., etc. What do these guys do? The Kyrie Irvings and the Dwight Howards of the world, mad respect and love to them because their hearts are in the right place. But them proposing not to play. Obviously, there was a divide that was there. We've got former players taking one side or another, depending on whether it's the players that wanted to play against the players that did it. Then you've got folks debating as to what jerseys to put, what slogans or whatever to put on the back of our jerseys. We got my man Jay Williams on social media yesterday appropriately reminding the players, in an age of a pandemic where you've got over 40 million people unemployed and at least 20 million expected not to return to their jobs that they have been furloughed from or what have you, these guys are there complaining about room service, hotel room qualities, and things of that nature, disseminating that kind of message to the public. We have one of our very own colleagues who we love and we wish nothing but the best to, but he ultimately ended up being put off of work for the next couple of weeks because of an inappropriate tweet at a senator. And then we got players tweeting, well, you know, free him, like he's in prison or something. They're not realizing that these kind of things distract from the main cause. When you got Deshaun Jackson, whose heart was in the right place, Steven Jackson, whose heart was in the right place, but they got themselves embroiled in a controversy involving the Jewish community because of what was termed as nothing short of anti-Semitic verbiage or what have you. Once again, you're talking about that. We've got a whole litany of things that we're pointing the finger at and talking about instead of the real issue at hand, which is what Barkley was trying to intimate. Wherever our focus was in May, it's not there now. It's probably not going to be there next month. It damn sure probably ain't going to be there come September. You hope that it'll be there come election day and things of that nature. These are the things that we were supposed to be about. We were supposed to have our eyes on the ball. But once again, because of the combination of emotion and not enough strategy, we look lost. Barkley's right.